Hello everyone, here at OS and VTXreviews.com. You're watching a retro review of the Dell Axim X3. This is a pocket PC device that runs on Windows Mobile, and it's a pretty interesting product because it really was one of those stepping stones for Dell in terms of gaining entry into the pocket PC world, and the Axim is one of the most famous and most successful lineups of pocket PC devices that they've created in the past. The X3 was successful because it was very inexpensive and it costed only $229 for its bottom baseline model, which I'm holding right now, and it comes with a 300 megahertz processor, 32 megabytes of RAM, and 32 megabytes of ROM for a total of 64 megs of, quote, memory. In terms of the design, it's a pretty industrial look to it. It's very boxy and square, and it's made entirely out of plastic. However, the device does feel pretty solidly built in the hand. The bottom model I have here, the Dell X3, isn't like the X30, which is its predecessor, because it doesn't have Wi-Fi built in. And as a result, if you want to browse a web using Wi-Fi connectivity, you have to have a Wi-Fi card, SD card, and you could add that functionality by yourself for an extra around $80 or so for one of those SD cards with Wi-Fi built in. So it's a pretty boring looking device, but it does do the job, and it's great for mobile professionals and consumers alike. You can see that it has a 3.5-inch TFT LCD resistive touchscreen, which means you do have to use included stylus because it's not very responsive using the flesh. You have to really press down on there. And Windows Mobile is not very optimized for touch, of course, even though it's a pretty professional platform with a lot of applications. Dell did do a little of customization in terms of changing up the software side of things. Instead of making it purely Windows Mobile based, they had a little bit of larger icons that were more circular in design, so it did look a little bit better than your traditional Windows Mobile. Taking a look at the hardware, we can see on the top we have a Dell logo followed by a microphone, and we'll have a power on and off key. I've always thought when I first received this product that it resembled one of Dell's, maybe their laptops in terms of design, and that's a good thing because it looks pretty solidly built, and also it looks like a miniaturized PC, which I thought was pretty cool. On the bottom, we have a Pocket PC logo. We also have a 5-way navigation toggle for going through the menu and pressing OK. These buttons are pretty large and easy to press. They are risen above the surface, but they are a little bit cramped, in my opinion, a little bit small. We also have a home key, a email key, a menu button, and a calendar key for adding appointments to our calendar. And there are just two little hot buttons on the sides, which are absolutely tiny and pretty hard to press, to be honest, but they do correspond to two hot swappable buttons that you can actually select using the menu. I can set this, for example, to a Internet Explorer button, or I can set this one to, for example, the voice recorder, and then pressing this key will automatically take me to the preset functions that I determine. And you can see that this one is, it's a little bit hard to press, but it is a nice feature to have. On the bottom, we have the charging cradle and also the PC sync slot. You would connect this to your PC to add applications to it if you didn't have wireless on it. On the left-hand side of the device, we had a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is great for listening to music and watching movies with the 3.5-inch touchscreen. We also had a scroll key for selecting things if you didn't want to use the 5-way navigation toggle. On the right, we had 3 pins for adding additional accessories in the future. And also on the top was a stylus port, and on the very top we have an IR port for infrared and beaming technology, as well as the SD card slot for expanding memory and other functionalities like Wi-Fi. The back houses a speaker, which is very loud, and a nice design decision was that the ports are risen above the surface, so when I'm placing it on a flat surface, I can still hear the speaker because it's recessed and it's coming outwards like so. You can see that the battery is also user removable, which is pretty nice for a rechargeable one. And it comes maxed out at 960 milliamps, which is fairly good for this type of product as well. One interesting aspect of the X3 was that it did have the optional ability to connect to GPS, which is a nice feature. Some people would love to use this as a GPS navigator, and you could add Bluetooth on it, which is also optional. So a very interesting look back at the Dell Axim X3, one of the paving PDAs for Dell in terms of finding success in the mobile handset department, and we're eager to see what Dell will be pushing out in terms of cell phones and smartphones in the coming days and weeks. So thanks for watching here at OS and VTXreviews.com.